The Idol. The Idol is new from HBO. This follows Jocelyn, who is a pop singer. Now, she is trying to get back into the spotlight with the release of a new single, but past incidents as well as a new leaked photo are making her situation quite difficult. Things change when Jocelyn has an encounter with a nightclub owner, Tedros, a mysterious figure who believes he can make Jocelyn the star that she is meant to be. Now, you may have heard about The Idol. This show has bombing, awful reviews, and that's down to controversy based on the creator of this show, Sam Levinson, who also created Euphoria. The controversy is mostly based on, and I'm saying this based on what I could find on Google, mostly based on the fact that he uses a lot of nudity in Euphoria and the fact that he fell out with cast members on Euphoria. I think people think that maybe he's a bit weird with nudity and sexual scenes in his shows, and that's kind of transferred over here to The Idol. The show has already been labelled as being softcore porn. Due to that, scores on IMDb are hovering around 4 and 5, but written reviews are a lot higher. People that have actually gone out of their way to, watch the episode and actually review the episode, they're higher, so you could tell these are people that actually watch the shows and they're not just basing it off of their opinions on a show that they haven't actually watched. For example, next week's episode, which of course is not out yet, already has like a 4 on IMDb, so it's one of those that the show's kind of caught some heat anyway, so therefore that's what's causing a lot of these bombing reviews. But of course, I'm not here to review Sam Levinson, I'm here to review The Idol, and I thought episode 1 was pretty good. I thought it was pretty solid. I was entertained throughout. I think it grips you very early on, and I'm invested in this story, and I'm invested in what's going to come next. I'm very intrigued by it all. Now, from the outset, this show is raunchy. It has nudity. It has lots of dialogue revolving around sex. This is not the sort of show you want to be watching if your parents are still sat on the sofa next to you, because you're going to feel very, very uncomfortable. Cum, tits, bukkake, these are all words you are going to hear in this show. And as I mentioned, there have been critiques of this show labelling it as softcore porn, which would be fair if the nudity and the sexual scenes in this show were here with no rhyme or reason. But if you watch this first episode, you would see that sex, sexual appeal, kinks, passion are all big themes and important to our main character, Jocelyn. Jocelyn is a sexy pop star. Her team want her to have that sex appeal, whether it be through advertisements such as album covers and interviews, or through the actual music she's making, the lyrics. They want it to be sexually orientated. So it's not just tits for the sake of tits. It seems like it's important. It seems like it's an important theme of the show, particularly to the character of Jocelyn and just the world she's involved in. That is why, obviously, it's quite heavy. It's spoken about and we see it, but there's a reason for it. Lily Rose Depp does a great job here. She's singing, she's dancing, she seems to be owning this role, and I enjoyed her performance here. It felt genuine. I don't think I've seen her in anything else before, but based on this, she's a good actress. Now, of course, Tedros, the nightclub owner, is being played by The Weeknd. He's a mysterious man who comes across as creepy, but also smart. It feels like he knows some things. It feels like he has knowledge, and that he has some wisdom to potentially give. But it's hard to tell if there's an ulterior motive about what he's doing. It feels like there is. It feels like he's up to something, but it's quite hard to tell. He's a very difficult character to gauge. The question is, of course, can The Weeknd act? I'd say he can. I thought he was very solid. He had a big creative involvement on this show, of course, as he's kind of co-writing and creating and producing it. So it seems like he knows what he wants from this character that he's playing, and I'm impressed with what we got. The soundtrack in terms of the score was good. It has a little bit of eeriness to it, like something's not quite right, and I think that worked well for the tone they were going for in this show. Casting was also very good. I think all the performances were solid all round. There's also that self-awareness that you often get in HBO shows. It's just good writing. Characters will say things that really do feel like they're talking about the real world. It feels like you're watching something that could be happening in the real world. It feels self-aware, and it won't shy away from saying certain things. I have no idea where this story is heading, so I really am full of intrigue to see the paths of these characters, particularly Lily Rose Depp's character of Jocelyn. I'm intrigued to see, is she going to get drawn into sort of a darker world that she thinks is better for her, or is she going to, just what path is she going to go on? I think it's very fascinating. I probably won't review this show week to week, you know, each episode, but I will definitely review the series as a whole once it gets to the end. But sometimes I like to just look into these first episodes just to get a gauge of how we're starting off. There's not really any flaws with this first episode. I think it was a very solid start, and I think it could definitely get better if it gathers some momentum and as we get deeper into this plot. And based off this first episode, it looks like this show could be promising. I think ignore all these negative reviews and whatnot. I'd say go and watch the show. Don't look at these things where it's like 20% on Rotten Tomatoes and 4.5 on IMDb. Like, watch the show, because those do not reflect what we're actually seeing. I would give episode 1 of The Idol an 8 out of 10. If you've seen it, let me know what you think about it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.